Then Paul preached all night long. Eutychus fell out of the window. Paul went down and revived him and went on to preaching. And listen to this phrase. And it says, there were many lamps in the room. What did that mean? Well, of course, it's nighttime. They got to have lamps. Why would they say it's lamps? Well, what are one of the manifestations of angels? Fires and winds. I believe there's a possibility they were just saying that night there were many angels in the room.
Oh.
Paul, today with that convening, Donna, with that convening, many angels in the room. And you said, Paul, something along the line, may there be a trigger, a burning bush, a light. I tell you, it's going to find its way into our gatherings, manifestations of this type. Carl and Leanne, you guys had one of those a year ago or so where your lights were flashing in your sanctuary. So angels, we bless you to push back beyond the standard norms, the standard boundaries, the standard limits that we have given you permission to. And we've kind of grown, unfortunately, comfortable with a belief system that says you can come this far and probably you won't do anything more. Well, today we give you permission to go beyond those boundaries, beyond those limits, to open up the unseen realm, and where the two realms come together, all things which are in heaven and all things which are in earth coming together into one today. We bless you, angels, as you establish the supremacy, the primacy of God himself in their midst, including the angelic host, the heavenly host, making their appearance. Woo! We just kind of flexed a little bit there. Some of you know the name Blake Healy. He wrote a book called The Veil. Really simple book, easy to read. I think he was out at Bethel for a while, but he wrote this simple book, and one of the little tips, it's been helpful to me. It's a kind of a little training exercise, and I think we've talked about it a little bit, but his deal is to see beyond the veil of time and space and this physical world, to see into the spiritual realm, see past that veil, okay? Not talking about the Jesus veil, because that veil's already been ripped. So he says, here's a little bitty analogy that really helps. He says, when we drive a car, we train ourselves not to see the windshield. If there's bugs, streaks, fog, how about blasting rain? And we train ourselves, don't look at that because we've got something more important. So we look way down the road in order to drive for safety. Well, he says, if we want to, we can refocus our eyes from down the road back to the windshield, and then the windshield can be our focus. So we can look at either one, and when we do, usually the other one goes out of focus. Well, he says it's the same way with the spirit realm and the earthly realm. So we're usually trained to watch the earthly realm, temporal realm. But he says, practice refocusing your eyes. So eyes open, and you're just looking, it's like, okay, what am I seeing? If I were to refocus, what would I see? Here, let's do a little exercise. Want to try a little exercise? This one's not spiritual. This just kind of puts a principle in motion, or a little example. Okay, so hold your hand about maybe this far away, about 8 inches away from your eyes. But don't look at your hand right now. Look clear over at the other side of the room. Okay, you see the other side of the room is really clear. Don't look at your hand now, but in your peripheral, you can see your hand there, but you can't really see the definition of your hand, right? Don't look at your hand. Look at the other side. So what happens to your hand? It's there, you know it's there, but you can't see it. Okay, now don't move your hand, just refocus your eyes to your hand. Did you feel how you have to actually do some muscular activity with your eyes to refocus to your hand? Okay, so now you're looking at your hand. Don't look at the other side of the room, but see how the other side of the room is out of focus? Because you're looking at your hand now. Okay, so now let's retrain our eyes down to the other side of the other side of the room, and see how your hand goes out of focus. Okay, so just a little example. It might be something to kind of exercise with when we're looking for those two realms coming into a place where we could view them, observe them.